Welcome back to the Deep Dive Sports Podcast. And this evening we'll be talking about the college football championship game and also the NFL playoffs that were played this past weekend. So, with that said, let's get into these topics here. So, the college football playoff championship game actually is no buzz whatsoever about this game. I mean, you really people really not even talking about it. Some people and kind of forgot about it. And I just think what it is, and I know they can't really do anything because actually they're talking about expanding the playoffs. Um, I think with it being intertwined with the NFL playoffs, it kind of and got pushed to the side. Actually, this game probably should have been played on Friday. Um, but I don't know. I guess this is what it's gonna be. Like I say, they're gonna end up making this field of 12 into the field of 16. So it's just gonna be going on and on and on. It look like, but um, more about this game. I just think it's no hype about this game whatsoever, and I think part of it is a lot of people, and me personally, I'm in that group. I don't think Notre Dame has a chance tonight. I mean, it's a possibility by halftime this baby is over with. Um, I just think at this point Notre Dame don't have the offense. I mean, they got a solid defense, but they don't have the offense to keep up with Ohio State. If Ohio State, I mean, definitely if they get into the 30s, it's over. But I think the magic number for Ohio State is probably going to be 20. I'm going to say about 26. Anything over 26, I think Notre Dame is toast. Um, and that's probably too high. But like I say, there's no buzz about this game. I think this game is going to be over at halftime. It's a good story for Notre Dame, but also college football has to look at the way they do the seedings because actually I thought the national championship game was last week, Texas and Ohio State. But if they reseed these teams, you have a better chance of getting that matchup in the championship game instead of the semi. But I don't know. I mean, you can send your comments of what you think may happen tonight, but I think it's going to be kind of bad for the Fighting Irish. I mean, if people can remember, you remember when Notre Dame played Alabama a few years ago? I think that's kind of like how this game is going to turn out. And that was not good for the Irish. So we'll see what happens. But right now, let's get into the NFL playoffs. So, game number one this weekend, Kansas City beat Houston 23-14. The game actually it was a pretty good game. Kansas City had their normal help by the refs, bad calls. I don't know what's going on there. The NFL needs to really straighten that out because it's starting to and like I say, I'm not one of the ones that think games are fixed, but when you having these issues like this, the people that believe in that type stuff, you're giving them a lot of ammunition to feel that way. And right now in the NFL, or the refs are calling some terrible plays, and it seems like every time it falls Kansas City way. So they need to do something with that. They need to figure that out. The game was Houston was game. I mean they played a good game for the most part. Like I say, they had some bad calls that went against them. Um, Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes. I mean that's all you really need to say. But also to be honest with Kansas City has a solid defense. I mean their defense is way better than what people give them credit for. So I think we'll see. So Kansas City and they're moving on to the championship game, and they're trying to see if they can get this three-peat going. All right, let's move to the second game. Now this one here, wow, the first upset of the week. I did not see this. I did not see this coming. But I think one of the things that probably happened to the Lions, all them injuries finally caught up with them. The Lions been just destroyed with injury, especially on the defensive side, and I think all that stuff kind of caught up with them. Um, Jalen Daniels is showing that he's the real deal. Washington got a lot of they caught a lot of breaks as far as Detroit, with turnovers, and I think Jared Goff, um, I think he had a concussion. You know, I was telling one of my friends, whenever you knock a grown man, off his feet, the way that Jared Goff got knocked off his feet, that's a hard hit, and that dude hit him right in the face. I really think he was concussed, but not making no excuses of what happened in the game. But that's just my opinion. I think Goff was concussed, but I think all the injuries finally caught up with Detroit, and it's unfortunate because I know they were really looking forward, and I actually thought they would get to the Super Bowl, and I was looking forward to it because I just think I like seeing new teams, and I just thought it would make for an exciting team. But this is great for the Commanders to get to the championship game, new ownership, new stud quarterback. So the arrow is definitely pointing up for them, and they'll see what they can do next week. But real positive for them. I mean, if you're a Commanders fan, which I know they have a lot of fans, they got to really be hyped just for the fact the future looks bright for them. So we'll see what how they do next week. All right, this game here, Philadelphia and the LA Rams. I think the weather kind of did the Rams in a little bit when it really got snowing, but Matthew Stafford, man. I mean, I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and I remember when they was talking about Detroit was talking about trading him, man. I wanted him, and I know a lot of people were saying, he's old and all this stuff, but man, Matthew Stafford can ball, and if you look at a lot of those passes that he passing, I mean, he's hitting them with the no look. Um, he played a good game. Couldn't pull it off at the end. I mean, to be honest, Philly kind of survived. But Saquon Barkley, man, he ripped them up. I think he rushed for like 205 yards. Um, Philly got some issues because Jalen Hurt got hurt, so they got to see what's going on with him. Because if he can't play next week, and they got to put old Mr. Kenny Pickett out there, they're gonna have some issues, some major issues, because the Commanders should be able to put some type of points, up against Philly defense. I think Philadelphia is the most talented team in the NFL right now, and I would say they're probably favorite to win this whole thing. But um, we'll see how Mr. Hurts is doing, because if they lose him, then that's gonna be something. So with that said, let's go to the next game. Wow, Lamar Jackson, man. I know that brother got to be like, what do I have to do to get over this hump? Um, didn't play bad. He kind of made those, he made those typical playoff mistakes that he make. Threw an interception, fumble. Um, and one of the things I've always said, Lamar Jackson, he don't. I mean, well, nobody do, but that cold weather, man, it just does something to him. And I think Baltimore is the type team they need to have home field advantage. for them to really do some damage. I think. I give Buffalo credit. Um, I think Buffalo actually. I think Buffalo actually gonna go into Kansas City and beat them. Their defense is kind of up and down a little bit, but Josh Allen is an animal. I mean that guy's an animal. He dice you up, running the ball, throwing the ball, and to be honest, he really didn't have a big game yesterday. But I think he rushed for like 2 touchdowns. He's just a beast. He's a beast. So we'll see. Baltimore. I know they probably thought that this was going to be it for them, and they were going to get to the Super Bowl. Didn't work out for them. As a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, I ain't really feeling sad about that. But like I say, I know Lamar probably is like, man, I don't know what else I can do. But we will see what happens next week in the championship games. So my prediction right now is I'm taking Buffalo and the Eagles. So I think the Super Bowl is going to be a Philadelphia Eagles, Buffalo Bills Super Bowl, but we'll see. We'll see how that works out. And like I say, and the Eagles got to figure out what's up with their quarterback. And they got to see if they're gonna have a quarterback, because without him, that's gonna change the game a lot. So with that said, I think that's really about it. And till next week when we come back and we'll preview the championship games. Until then, take care, and I'll talk to you later.